listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. That is my message. I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. But let me remind you, if you ever have any more finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you, and you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Work with you. And yes, of course, we are celebrating today. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. Taking a look, and we've got some interesting celebration topics today. I did look at them a little bit earlier. National Pawnbrokers Day.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Microwave Oven Day.
You know better than that.
St. Nicholas Day. I thought that was St. Nicholas Day. Oh, no, it's St. Patrick's Day. I get that confused with. Okay. Miners Day and National Gazpacho Day. I think we'll stick with the gazpacho. That sounds a little bit better off to me. Market roller coaster. Once again, we're looking at that one for you as well. Looking at the Dow Jones Industrial Average. We opened up the day about 340 points up. And now we're looking that we're down about 31 points. Gotta love the roller coaster called the Dow Jones Industrial Average. It is not for the faint of heart. But we've shared with you before, a lot of it has to do with program trading. What is program trading? Well, we've got this artificial intelligence now that will actually read the headlines and start getting algorithmic training. So the headlines come out, the algorithms look at what they think is going to happen from that. They make the trades as quickly as possible. They want to make sure that they get in ahead of anybody else. And that is what moves the market so much anymore. It's not really legitimacy. It's just, it's kind of like the roulette wheel. You never know where it's going to land, what those algorithms might show. Just the way it is. 64 days in a row we're at right now. 64 days in a row we've seen gas prices dropping. Yeah, that's on the national level. In Taxifornia, we're still higher than most of the country. We're at $3.44 on average. The national average, $2.41. So we're, what's that, $1.03 more than the rest of the country. Ow! Yeah, and then if you want to go and get gasoline in Missouri, average price in Missouri, $1.99.7. $1.99.7. Yes, compare that to Taxifornia at $3.44. It's about, what, $1.50 a gallon, $1.44 a gallon. More in Taxifornia than they are in Missouri. Just, you got to love the way that works. So we're going to continue to watch that one as well. We are looking at the Dow Jones getting worse. It's going to be some headlines. I'm going to talk to you about what the headlines are that are causing the deterioration of the Dow Jones Industrial Average, because they're going to be coming out later in the day. We'll see how much of an effect it has. We're going to hear about how bad the housing market is. We're going to hear about an increase in defaults. We're going to hear about an increase in 30-day lates. Yet, I'm going to tell you that it's all a big ruse, because that's what the media wants you to hear, but it's not really what's going on. What is happening? Here's the fact of it, because the media, it will not be telling you this. We did see defaults jump up by 4.1%. Now, what they report right now is what's happening from the month of ending in September 30th. Look at your calendar. September 30th was a Sunday. Whenever the month ends on a Sunday, defaults are higher just because it means it's a shorter month, right? When you go into the credit bureaus, and we're going to be talking a lot about credit bureaus today because we are chatting about getting mortgage ready. A lot of folks, we're getting a lot of questions, a lot of people hitting us on social media about how do I get ready to buy a house in the springtime. There's a lot of that going on, and we're going to talk about the entire package. It's the Ron Siegel Radio Get Mortgage Ready program, and we're going to go over all these things. There are about 15 different items that are in the process of Get Mortgage Ready. But here's the issue. One of the things that we will chat about when we're looking at your credit report is that if you're looking at a mortgage and you don't pay your mortgage on time, it does not report late until it's 30 days late. Now, I would say, I don't like to say all, but virtually all mortgages are due on the first of the month. You might hear people say, well, it's the 15th of the month, but virtually all mortgages are due on the first of the month. The first of the month means that if you are a 30-day late means that you have to wait until 30 days to be reported as late. Think about that concept. Now, if the 30th falls on a Sunday, well, how do you make your mortgage payment on Sunday? You can't. It had to have been made on the 28th. Well, if you didn't make it by the 28th, you've got that shortened month to get that 30-day late going through. Just the way the process works. Okay, so think about that concept. Now, we will see that corrected the first of next month. We're going to see that correction go through. The first of next month, you're going to see that the 30-day lates are going to, the delinquencies will have retraced themselves because those people that made a payment at the end of the month, it got posted on the 1st. Well, it get posted on the 1st, that's your 30-day late. What do you do about it? That's going to cause a problem on your credit report. But the media will not tell you that. The media will also not tell you that during the month of September, we had several hurricanes. The hurricanes cause a problem getting things in the mail, getting payments, getting income. Another reason why you are seeing that is going on. So think about all of those concepts, and you're not going to hear that from the media. They don't want to explain the why to you. They're just going to tell you, foreclosures and distressed property is up. Well, let's think about that a little bit further. Let's see if we understand the why behind it, not just the what. Just a bit of information for you from your friends at Ron Siegel Radio. What else is happening in the markets? Well, we did see that there are some cuts in tariffs. China talking about cutting the tariffs on cars. There are also news from China is another gut punch for the iPhone. Analysts are saying, it's an irony if you're into the stocks, and I don't profess to be an advisor for stocks. I just announce or share what I see. Has anybody heard Apple say that they're having any kind of problems with their numbers? You hear these analysts coming up with these things. Here's the issue. The more the analysts beat up on the stock, the more I think the stock might be a good buy. Why? Well, because the company's not saying there's any problems. It's the analysts that are saying there are problems. When the company comes out and reports their earnings, do you think that they might beat the analyst expectations? Are you finding people that are saying, no, I don't want to buy Apple products anymore? Or are you hearing people that are out there buying Apple products over the holidays?
90 seconds.
Just talking about that, giving you that information. A little bit of a interesting occurrence here as we go to break, but that is a little bit of information for you as we watch the the markets. You are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, we will be chatting about how to simply increase your family wealth by paying for a house.
Seconds.
We're going to also talk quite a bit. We'll chat quite a bit today about getting mortgage ready. All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. On Twitter @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio.
79564.
Goodbye.
Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Did you know that banks and credit bureaus are rewarded financially if you have bad credit? And the worse your credit score is, the more money they can make off of you? How does that make you feel, knowing that banks are getting rich off of your hard-earned money? How does it make you feel, knowing that if a bank or a credit bureau makes a mistake on your credit report, they benefit from it and it hurts you? The Fair Credit Report Act of 1971 requires banks and credit bureaus to report only accurate information, and nearly 100% of all credit reports are inaccurate. If you're sick and tired of being broke and tired of being robbed by the banks, you owe it to yourself and to your family to call Rondi. Rondi is a FICO-certified credit professional and has helped thousands of people just like you get out of debt and establish great credit. Rondi's number is 855-608-1990. Again, that's 855-608-1990. Or visit creditsanitizer.com. Again, that website is creditsanitizer.com.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452.
Are you a veteran, police officer, firefighter, doctor, nurse, or teacher? If so, you qualify as one of Ron Siegel's VIP heroes, and we have rewards up to $5,000 or $10,000 when you buy, sell, or refinance a home with one of the Ron Siegel Radio partners. As one of the heroes, real estate agents will rebate part of their commission, lending partners will give a credit at closing, the title company has special published rates, and many other service providers have incentives too. All you need to do is call Ron Siegel Radio at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit VIPHeroProgram.com. Just think about what you will do with all the rebates and incentives from the partners of Ron Siegel Radio. Just call us at 800-306-1990 so we can show you our appreciation for your service.
Siegel Lending Team offers you buying power. Let's say you can afford a monthly mortgage payment including principal and interest of around $1,900. With today's rate on a 30-year fixed mortgage of 3.75%, APR 3.85%, that payment could support a $416,000 mortgage. But if you wait and rates tick up to around 6.5%, which is roughly the average home mortgage rate over the past 30 years, that same $1,900 mortgage payment, including principal and interest, may only be able to support a $314,000 mortgage. That's over $100,000 worth of home you're missing out on by waiting. That's buying power. All you need to do to get started is reach out to the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Payment example excludes taxes and insurance. Call us for full details, 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 or SiegelLendingTeam.com. Equal housing lender, licensed under NMLS number 217037.
Are you purchasing or own a luxury home? If you're like so many others, your home is your largest asset and the mortgage is your largest debt. The Siegel lending team has some amazing financing opportunities right now. Jumbo loans up to $2 million, 30-year rates below 4%, 15-year rates near 3.5%, and if you can believe it, 7-year interest-only hybrids in low 3s. The Siegel lending team has all the options for your jumbo or second home loan requirements. Take advantage of them while you can. To learn more about all the other financing products available from the Siegel lending team, call 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Again, call 1-800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender.
Homeowners that are 62 and older are about to find out a great way to live a better retirement. It's called a reverse mortgage, and SLT can help you learn more. Call the Siegel lending team at 800-306-1990 right now to receive your free booklet with no obligation. It answers questions like how a reverse mortgage works, how much you qualify for, the ways to receive your money, and more. When you call the experts at Siegel lending team today, you'll learn the benefits of a government-insured reverse mortgage, how it will eliminate your monthly mortgage payments, and give you tax-free cash from the equity in your home. Here's the best part. You still own your home. Now is the best time to take control of your retirement. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 to get your free brochure. Call today or visit our website at SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com, or simply call 800-306-1990.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends over at Gold Star Mortgage. When you're ready for that next mortgage, Gold Star has the programs and the products for you. Just give me a call at 800-306-1990. I will put you in touch with them at Gold Star. Here it is. Here's the markets. They are going a little crazy today. The stock market nowadays is not for the faint at heart. Dow Jones Industrial Average is now down about 81 points as we speak. Oil up 63 cents per barrel as we're speaking on that one. We're looking at interest rates also because that is a big issue. Hopefully you have not locked in your interest rates recently because they are still dropping, and I'm expecting they're going to continue to go down. Fannie Mae 30-year bond debt, it's up 8 basis points, which means interest rate is down. The 10-year Treasury at 2.85 right now as we speak. Why the volatility? Why is this happening? Well, money is moving from the stock market. People are looking at the stock market and saying, you know something? I don't like that volatility. I'm not interested in keeping that roller coaster going. And that's what's offsetting what's going on at the Federal Reserve and the European Central Bank. Those numbers that you're seeing from both of those areas are areas where we can benefit, because they were buying up so much of the inventory of the mortgage-backed securities and the treasuries that now they're not buying those, but the stock market volatility is telling people, hey, you know something? If you're not excited about this volatility, get out of it. Move over to another area that's not quite as volatile. We call that the bond market. Yeah, so the people are going into the bond market, bringing the demand for bonds up, which means the price on the bond goes up, which means the interest rates are dropping. Now, how long will that happen? I don't know. If you're thinking about refinancing, if you're thinking about buying a home, now is the time to do that, and that way you're ready to lock in at a moment's notice. And I get these updates throughout the day when we see markets changing. And that kind of gives us an idea. Should we be changing on the fly with them? Or should we let it sit and let it go the way the markets are as volatile as they are? And that's a big issue for most people. You've got to watch out. You've got to see what the markets are going to do. And, a lot of the institutions, they don't have anybody that's really watching the markets for you. They just sit there and they say, okay, well, the sign out in the lobby says today's rate is X, and that's what we're going to do is the rate is X. Well, do you want the best rate at the beginning of the process, or do you want the best rate at the end of the process? Well, my answer to that is I want the best rate throughout the process. And that's one of the issues that we're always looking for is how do we make sure that we do get that best rate for individuals? Well, you have to be looking at the markets and understand what the markets are telling you, because there is always something new going on in the markets and you got to watch it on a regular basis. That is the Mortgage Minute. Again, brought to you by our friends over at Gold Star Mortgage. When you're ready for that next mortgage, Gold Star has the programs and the products for you. Get mortgage ready. That is our topic today. How do you get mortgage ready? I'm getting tremendous amounts of individuals that are sending us that question on a regular basis when we've talked a little bit about it in the markets and on the broadcast is how do you get mortgage ready? Well, a lot of that has to do with education. You have to understand, and the biggest inhibitor that I see for individuals is understanding their credit. I see a lot of folks, they send us the FICO score. In a few instances, more often than not, I see FACO scores, Credit Karma, Vantage, Experian score, Credit Score. A lot of the credit cards will send out a credit score. That is not a FICO score. You need to understand the FICO score because that's a big difference than the credit score. What is the importance of the credit score? That is what's going to be used. That's one of the 30 factors that are used to determine what your interest rate will be. Right? You're going to have an interest rate on every different loan that you get. So if it's a credit card, if it's an automobile, if it's a home, if it's a home equity line of credit, all of those issues are going to have an interest rate associated. Almost every one of them, not everyone, but almost every one of them is going to be based on what your FICO score is, not your credit score, but your FICO score. So FICO score changes all the time. It is not stored anywhere. A lot of people get confused about that. They wonder, okay, well, my FICO score yesterday, I ran it, and it was 717. Okay, well, that's good. That was yesterday's number. That has no bearing on what today's number will be. Because the scores change on a regular basis. You need to understand that. Now, you can monitor them. I have mine monitored, so I understand what my score is. If it changes by 1 point, I get a notification. If it goes up, if it goes down, and it's all done with the legitimate FICO number. Now, what is it that affects your score? That's the next question, is what affects your score? Well, your score has a lot of different components. Your score is going to be based on how much you owe on your credit cards. That is utilization rate. So that's going to be on all of your revolving debt. That does not count installment loans like cars or any kind of a loan that has a fixed period of time. So car loans, you know that it's going to be 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, whatever that might be. Your home loan, it's going to have a fixed amount of time. So the FICO score uses 30% of your score comes from the utilization rate of your revolving debt. What the heck does that mean, Ron? Okay, so the utilization rate is if you have a $1,000 limit and you have $100 used on that credit card, that's a 10% utilization rate. If you have $10,000 and you've used $5,000, that's 50% utilization rate. Now, the amount you owe, again, that's 30% of your score. Your score is going to range from 350 to 850 on a mortgage FICO. 500 point swing, 30%. That means 150 points is coming off of your utilization rate. You want to keep your utilization rate as low as possible. There are certain break points that we know of. Now, FICO does not give out the exact breakdown of how, if you're at this exact number, it's going to do this to your scores. They don't give that information out. So anybody that tells you they know exactly, well, it's not true. But when you do sign up with myfico.com and you see, okay, well, my utilization on this went up a little bit and it had this effect, you kind of start getting an idea of what's happening where. So 30%, again, you want to keep your utilization below 10%, below 30%, below 50%, below 70%. Those are where the breaks are. If you start getting over 100% utilization, if they report that you owe more than your limit, well, then you're going to start seeing some significant deductions from that 150 points. 35% goes to pay history. So when we were talking earlier about why we see more derogatories or delinquencies on mortgages on months where Sunday is the 30th, where they end on a Sunday, well, 35% of your pay history of your FICO score comes from that pay history. A late mortgage payment, a late revolving debt payment, a late car payment. Those affect 35% of your score. 10% of your score comes from inquiries, new credit. Now, if you go and inquire at 2 or 3 different places on your mortgage, then that counts as one. They call that buffering if it's done within a short period of time. If you go and you apply for 2 or 3 different places for car loans, again, if it's done within a short period of time, that's buffering. They only count it as one new inquiry, so it doesn't have a major effect. Now, if you remember, I said you have a 500-point FICO. It goes from 350 to 850. 10% of your score means 50% comes from new credit. 15% of your score comes from credit history. That means you want to keep those old cards as long as possible. Don't give up the old cards. That will hinder you. You don't want to do that. 10% of your score comes from the credit mix. So the ideal credit mix is 3 credit cards, 2 car payments, and 1 mortgage. That's your ideal mix. Does anybody have an ideal mix? Well, there are some. But you always want to make sure that that's what you're watching is for that ideal mix. We're going to continue our Get Mortgage Ready broadcast, how to handle errors on your credit report, mistakes that lower your credit score, techniques to improve your credit score. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Siegel Lending Team offers you buying power. Let's say you can afford a monthly mortgage payment, including principal and interest, of around $1,900. With today's rate on a 30-year fixed mortgage of 3.75%, APR 3.85%, that payment could support a $416,000 mortgage. But if you wait and rates tick up to around 6.5%, which is roughly the average home mortgage rate over the past 30 years, that same $1,900 mortgage payment, including principal and interest, may only be able to support a $314,000 mortgage. That's over $100,000 worth of home you're missing out on by waiting. That's buying power. All you need to do to get started is reach out to the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Payment example excludes taxes and insurance. Call us for full details, 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 or SiegelLendingTeam.com. Equal housing lender, licensed under NMLS number 217037.
Are you purchasing or own a luxury home? If you're like so many others, your home is your largest asset and the mortgage is your largest debt. The Siegel lending team has some amazing financing opportunities right now. Jumbo loans up to $2 million, 30-year rates below 4%, 15-year rates near 3.5%, and if you can believe it, 7-year interest-only hybrids in low 3s. The Siegel lending team has all the options for your jumbo or second home loan requirements. Take advantage of them while you can. To learn more about all the other financing products available from the Siegel lending team, call 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL lendingteam.com. Again, call 1-800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender.
Homeowners that are 62 and older are about to find out a great way to live a better retirement. It's called a reverse mortgage, and SLT can help you learn more. Call the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990 right now to receive your free booklet with no obligation. It answers questions like how a reverse mortgage works, how much you qualify for, the ways to receive your money, and more. When you call the experts at Siegel Lending Team today, you'll learn the benefits of a government-insured reverse mortgage, how it will eliminate your monthly mortgage payments, and give you tax-free cash from the equity in your home. Here's the best part. You still own your home. Now is the best time to take control of your retirement. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 to get your free brochure. Call today or visit our website at SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL lendingteam.com, or simply call 800-306-1990.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text NEST, N-E-S-T, to 79564. Find your dream home before someone else does. How to simply increase your family wealth by paying for housing. Everyone should realize that unless you are living somewhere rent-free, you are paying a mortgage, either yours or your landlord's. Buying your own home provides you with a form of forced savings that allows you to use your monthly housing costs to increase your family's wealth. Every month that you pay your mortgage, you are paying off a portion of the debt that you took on to purchase your home. Therefore, you own a little bit more of your home every month in the form of home equity. As your home's value increases, you also gain home equity. Every quarter, Pulseonomics surveys a nationwide panel of over 100 economists, real estate experts, and investment and market strategists, and asks them to project how residential home prices will appreciate over the next 5 years for their home price expectation survey, HPES. The latest data from their Q4 2018 survey revealed that home prices are expected to round out the year 5.8% higher than they were in January. For the next 5 years, home values will appreciate by an average of nearly 3% a year. This is still great news for homeowners. For example, let's assume a young couple purchases and closes on a $250,000 home in January. Simply through the home appreciating in value, those homeowners can build their home equity by nearly $40,000 over the next 5 years. I shared that chart earlier on our social media channels. Potential gain in equity gained over the same period at some other higher points. Put that chart out there also. In many cases, home equity is a large portion of a family's overall net worth. The bottom line, if you plan for 2019, includes entering the housing market to purchase a home, whether it's your first or your fifth. Let's get together and chat, see how we might be able to help you get mortgage ready? That is the topic that we are on today discussing on Ron Siegel Radio. Get mortgage ready. That was the real-time real estate segment, again, brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text NEST, N-E-S-T, to 79564. Find your dream home before someone else does. How to handle errors on your credit report. There are always errors on your credit report. I have been looking at credit reports for many decades, and I've yet to find the time when somebody did not have an error on their credit report. I have seen some really, really good scores. What do you do? How do you deal with that? Well, here's the issue. When you are looking at dealing with your credit report, I'm going to be the first one to tell you, do not push that little button on there that says dispute. Most people are going to say, well, that looks like an easy way to deal with it, Ron. I can just go on there, dispute the item, and I can go on my credit report, and that'll solve the problem. Well, the issue is that's made for the benefit of the Bureau. It's not made to help you at all. Don't ever think that the bureaus are looking out for you. Don't ever think that the bureaus are your friend. They are simply looking to make money. Just my opinion, but I've been doing this in a long time, and I've talked to a whole lot of folks. Think about the concept. Whenever the bureaus sell your data to other people, that's what they do. When they sell that data to others, do you think you get a better interest rate if you have a high score or a low score? Yeah, you're right. You get a better interest rate with a high score. So do you think the bureaus want you to have a high score? No, you can go anywhere to get anything you want. The whole idea is to keep your score as low as possible. So they really, when you push that button, it basically gives you 140 characters to tell them what your issue is. Don't do that. That's not the right way of disputing an item. When you have an item that you disagree with, you need to put some data together. You send a letter to the Bureau. Why are you disputing it? What is your foundation? What is the basis of your dispute? Then you're going to go and you're going to send that right off to the Bureau and tell them, but you have to sign the letter. You're going to send it by certified mail. You're going to include a copy of your driver's license and social security card and an electric bill or a cable bill, something along those lines. Gas bill, one of your utilities. Send one of those along with it. That way the Bureau knows it's coming from you and not from a third party. Now, the real good third party collection or the credit repair companies, they're going to ask you for that. So when they send that data off for you, they already have it. Then what you're going to do is you're going to note the date that you send that out, note the date that it comes back, and on the 31st day following that notice, you're going to run your credit again. Because the bureaus have 30 days only to note that there's a dispute on your bill. These are all part of the laws that are affected by credit. Now, I'm not giving you legal advice. I'm just telling you my understanding from having done this for a long time. They have 30 days to make that notation. If it's not there, they've got to take it off. Now, what do they have to do? They have to verify that the information that you claim is inaccurate. They've got to verify with the reporting agency or creditor or collection company that it is accurate. It's got to be complete, it's got to be accurate, and it's got to be verifiable. Those three things. Any one of that doesn't, it has to come off. Now, you have grounds against the Bureau if on the 31st day when you run that report a second time, if that's still there after 31 days after they received your letter. So you've got to know from that certified letter when they got it, they've got to take that off. Now, there are other rules then. If they go to put it back on, they've got to give you notice, written notice, within 5 days that they're putting something back on that was previously taken off for this kind of a dispute. So make sure you're watching those different numbers or those dates. Now, do you have time to do that yourself? I don't know. But my suggestion to you is we've got two different companies, one on the West Coast, one on the East Coast, that do a good job for people. I would highly recommend you talk to one of them. And as you're getting mortgage ready, our friends at Gold Star have a special program in place to help you with the expense of getting this done professionally. So that's just a little bit there. What are some of the mistakes that lower your credit score? Well, obviously a late payment, that'll lower your credit score. If you have too high of a utilization, that's going to lower your credit score. If you go and get too many inquiries, especially right now, this time of year, I'm going to go and apply for a Hilton credit card. I'm going to go and apply for a Home Depot card. I'm going to go and apply for a Lowe's card and a new car. Well, that's going to hinder your credit score. Now, if you're going and maxing out your credit cards, that will hinder your credit score as well. So if you use up 100% of your credit, that's going to have a problem with your credit score. You're going to end up getting a lower score. Now, I'm not recommending doing those things. Now, how do you keep those things higher? Well, be prepared for them. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't use the credit card, because there are many credit cards that do give you some great benefits for using the card. So I want to make sure that you get those benefits when you are entitled to them. But we don't want your score to go up, so I'm going to give you some techniques to improve your credit score when we come back as part of the Get Mortgage Ready program. It helps for everybody, but the Get Mortgage Ready program, we're going to talk about techniques to improve your credit score, several ways to reestablish credit, simple ways to maintain a budget, cost-cutting ideas. We'll even talk about tipping. Yeah, holiday tipping. We'll talk about that. And small financial mistakes could cost you big time. All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Reach out to us, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter, @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you living in the home of your dreams, or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area-trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Most businesses struggle to get the online reviews they need to get a competitive edge over their competition. Rex is a brand new technology that uses text messages to direct happy clients to your online review sites, Zillow, Google, Facebook, and Yelp, and unhappy clients to a private survey, so businesses can win more customers. Try Rex today by going to www.meetrex.com.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed-rate loan below 4.25% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $295,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,400 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Or 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
Do you have a goal of mortgage-free home ownership? What if your home was valued at $500,000? Are you aware that a free and clear home could be costing you $2,500 every month, $30,000 per year? The mortgage planners at the Siegel Lending Team would like to show you how you can own your home, generate tax-free income, and accumulate family wealth. You simply need to call the Ron Siegel Team at 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990. By sending the team a copy of your most recent mortgage statement, the team will send find you a no-obligation real estate plan. You be the judge if this is right for your family. Again, all you have to do is send the team a copy of your mortgage statement by email to reap@ronsiegelradio.com or call today. Ron Siegel, 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990.
Rate subject to change and without notice. Licensed by the California DOC and BRE NMLS 217037 and 145502 and Cal BRE 01869452 and 1866775.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day at Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Your Credit Matters segment today being brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. You have a credit report. It is wrong. What are you doing about it? Credit Sanitizer has the solutions for you. You just need to go on the site, get signed up. It's kind of very similar to the Get Mortgage Ready program, but it's all dealing with credit on that one. Small mistakes could cost you big time. Little things can cause you as much pain as the bigger things in life. Maybe even more. Whether it's a small stone stuck in your shoe or a recurring fee levied on your bank account, little things can really add up, especially if you continuously ignore them. Here are 5 seemingly small financial mistakes that could harm you in the long term. Number 1, small fees add up. One-time fees like a $3 out-of-network ATM charge or a $15 service charge made on your account for an online ticket purchase wouldn't necessarily wreak havoc on your account. They may not seem like much at the time, but if these fees are frequent, then they add up and can really cause a drain on your bank account. Number 2, paying bills late. If you pay your bills even a few days late, then you run the risk of incurring a penalty late fee. If you pay your credit card late, your company can impose a penalty on the APR, the annual percentage rate, which is usually much higher than your regular APR. It is in your best interest to make sure that you are paying your bills on time each month, every month, so you can boost your credit score and gain access to better interest rates in the future. Payment history has a big influence on your credit score. If your payments are 30 days or more past due, it can cost you more than a penalty fee. A late payment will lower your credit score. If you're trying to apply for new credit, you'll likely end up with higher interest rates. This can cost you thousands of more dollars in the long run, especially on a large loan like a mortgage. If you forget to pay your bills on time each month, then you can set them to auto pay. That way you can avoid late fees, penalty APR, and late payments. Number 3, not saving for retirement. Many people, especially younger generations, are not saving for retirement. But putting off saving for retirement is a mistake you want to avoid making, so where do you start? Many employers offer and match contributions you make to a 401k plan. If you're not investing in one, then you should start now. Otherwise, when it's time to retire, you'll find yourself struggling financially. Besides, if you're not contributing to a 401k that your employer contributes to, then you're basically throwing away free money. Leaving money in an old retirement plan. When your job changes, you lose your employer's benefits. This includes 401ks and other retirement plans. The good news is you can take retirement accounts with you when you leave a job. Many people don't do this, so they lose out on what they've already invested. Some options are to roll your old 401k to your new employer or transfer it to an IRA. That way you can keep track of your retirement account and continue to watch it grow. Number 5, not paying your credit card debts in full. Credit cards can be a great way to earn rewards like cash back or airline miles. You do need to make sure you use them responsibly, though. Research shows that the average American has over $16,000 in credit card debt. With that much debt, it can be difficult to pay down your entire balance each month. Many Americans are just paying the minimum each month. This costs a lot in interest in the long run. Not only that, but it can take years to pay off these balances. To avoid this, you should make sure you're only spending what you can pay back at the end of the month. That way you're not carrying balances or paying interest. If you don't think you'll have the money to pay your credit card in full, then it may be best to not use your credit card. Those are just a few items for you. That's the Your Credit Matters segment. Again, brought to you by creditsanitizer.com. You have a credit report. It is wrong. What are you doing about it? Continuing our conversation this morning, the Get Mortgage Ready program. We've got a lot of folks that are getting into it. If you would like to join the Ron Siegel Radio Get Mortgage Ready program, just send us your contact information. You can do it at ron@ronsiegelradio.com. You can put it onto our Facebook channel. We need your name, phone number, email address. That's the basic information that we need. There may be some other information, some other tools that you want that we can get for you. We might need a little bit more information from you, but not a whole heck of a lot. Techniques to improve your credit score is next up on the Get Mortgage Ready program. So what are some of the techniques? One of the biggest techniques is paying your revolving debt, all credit cards, pay them twice a month. Now, we just chatted with you in the Your Credit Matters segment. We were talking a little bit about the concept of going in and paying your setting up a recurring payment so that you're never late on your payment due date. So if you're using your credit cards all the time, say you've got 3 credit cards and you're using them all the time, here's the plan. For the most part, there are a few bills that you have on a monthly basis that you can set one up to be paid by each of the 3 credit cards. When you do that, it's real simple. Okay, so say you've got your electric bill and you put that on credit card 1. You've got your gas bill on credit card 2, and you've got your cell phone bill on credit card 3. Okay? Now, we know that our electric bill, just call it for round numbers, it's $100 a month. Our gas bill is, let's say it's $50 a month, and our cell phone bill, another $100 a month. Yours may be more, maybe less. But set them up for automatic recurring payments onto those 3 different credit cards. Then go into your bank and set up your minimum payment on each of the credit cards. So if you go to credit card number 1, you're going to set up a minimum monthly payment of $100 to be sent there and arrive 1 day before the payment due date. Right, you have to look at your statement, see when your payment due date is, and set this up for maybe 2 days before your payment due date. On credit card 2, you're going to go in there and set that up to be paid $50, like we said, on your gas bill. And then you're going to go in there, and 2 days before that payment due date, you're going to have a payment arrive there for $50. And number 3 is going to be your cell phone bill, whatever that bill is on a recurring basis. You're going to go in and have that set up with a payment due date. 2 days before the payment due date, it needs to arrive for that $100. Now, depending upon what you keep as your balance on your cards, that might be enough to cover your minimum payment every single month. Now what you want to do is you want to go in about 1 week before your statement closing date. So you may have a statement closing date of the 10th and a due date of the 17th. We just talked about how we're going to deal with the 17th. Now, on the 3rd of the month, if your statement closing date is the 10th, 3rd of the month, go online, look at your balance for that credit card, and pay as much as you possibly can right away so it arrives before the 10th, that statement closing date. So say you owed $400, you're going to pay $400. Maybe if you owe $415, you pay $400, leave that $15 over. Not a problem there. And sometimes it's good to have a real small balance, within under $25. That way it shows that it's always being used. When it reports, there's always a very minimal payment balance on there. But this way you're going to get that best possible utilization rate. If you remembered earlier, we talked about your utilization rate. That's a big issue there. We want to keep that utilization rate as low as possible. So this is just a tip. Paying that credit card bill twice a month is going to be a big benefit for you in the long run. That's the biggest tip. Because remember, between the 30% for your utilization rate and 35% for credit history, that's 65% of your credit score comes from those 2 items, and I just shared with you how to maximize that getting that 65% of your score. Now remember, we've got a 500-point score, or 500 points in that score. 65%. That's 330 points right there that I just showed you how to get. Now, what if you had bad credit already and we're still trying to get mortgage ready? How do we reestablish credit? Well, the way to do that is we want to go and we want to get 3. Remember I told you our magic number is 3. We're going to get 3 prepaid credit cards. So we need to go to one of the institutions that reports on prepaid credit cards. We're going to get 3 of those credit cards, and we're going to set each one of those up. Say they've got a $500 balance. And when you do a prepaid credit card, remember you're basically paying in advance for that. So you're going to set up $500 for each of these cards, and then you're going to go and use them. They're going to report. They're going to give you a bill every month, and you have to pay off that bill. And for, say, 6 months, you're going to keep these opened, and you're going to continue spending on them and following the payment plan I just went over with you. So if you're going to follow that same payment plan, you're going to go and you're going to be making those payments on a regular basis again, and that's going to build your credit. That's going to reestablish your credit. That's going to be the big issue of going and getting that done. After that, the 6 months, then you ask that institution, hey, can we get rid of the prepayment or get rid of that secured balance? Or we're going to look to some other credit cards, because you're going to start seeing that you've got the reportings already done. If those are reported, then you're not going to have to worry about the issue, and you're going to have reestablished your credit. Just a thought for you. That's a way to reestablish credit. Again, there's a lot more to the Get Mortgage Ready program. Unfortunately, we don't have as much time as we like. So we ask you set that first radio preset button to come back here every day to join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to John, who's engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.